What's up gamers, DreamcastGuy here, reviewing today Uncharted The Lost Legacy. Going into this project, I was slightly nervous honestly. The release last year of Uncharted 4 was an epic conclusion to the Nathan Drake story, and I was worried that going back into this universe so soon would feel rushed or not fitting. Thankfully, those fears were put to bed the moment I saw Chloe and Nadine step into their first scene together. While Drake has always been the hero we loved about this series, this spin-off looks to prove that Uncharted as a franchise is more about the journeys we go on than just the people we go on them with. This team of explorers is on a mission to find the hidden treasures of an ancient city in India. There is a small issue though that makes this harder than they'd like. Right now there's a civil war going on in the area between the country's armies and rebels. If that wasn't bad enough, the leader of the rebels is searching for these ruins as well in an effort to steal the items hidden there and gain more power. That leaves Chloe and her dangerous friend Nadine to race through gorgeous, crumbling kingdoms, solving puzzles and shooting soldiers along the way to be the first one to find the gold. While Uncharted 4 was very much a straight-line adventure where we just walked from place to place, The Lost Legacy takes things open world. Once you get past the opening chapter, you're given a car, a map, and a series of dungeons to complete in whatever order you choose. Each of these spots is a different challenge that needs to be finished to move on, but if you take a minute to actually check some of the extra corners, you can find heavy weapons or ammo that'll make the next temple easier. During your time figuring out these puzzles, you begin to see why these two characters make such a great combination. Chloe was raised by a genius archaeologist, so she knows history perfectly and has an eye for the tiny details that can help them keep ahead of their rivals. Nadine, on the other hand, was born to be a soldier. Her father even formed his own private army, so she learned from a young age the usefulness of being strong. It's interesting seeing people who are each very talented but alone couldn't handle the impossible task of unlocking this mystery that's existed for thousands of years. This dynamic is shown not just in how they handle situations and cutscenes, but how they play. We control Chloe, who seems to die faster than Drake did, so you have to fight carefully. Every bullet knocks off a huge chunk of your health, and yet, if you mark targets and communicate well with your AI partner, Nadine will really help you stay in cover. Shootouts flow a little differently than they did in the original game. For one thing, they usually only last for a few minutes on average because there's less enemies and they're contained in smaller spaces of these old cities. Like this section here, I'm swimming through this pool of water carrying a grenade launcher I just found in a lockbox. By climbing up the back of this wall, I can get the jump on my foes and start blowing up baddies, and at the same moment Nadine is disarming snipers with hand-to-hand combat to keep me protected. All in all, this encounter happens in a matter of seconds if you plan it right. The swifter pacing of battles carries over to the general gameplay too. One of the few aspects of Uncharted 4 I didn't like is that occasionally you would spend hours climbing around in a single level. No longer do you see that. In The Lost Legacy, the story moves rapidly and we're always on to the next area and next epic showdown. It's a change in rhythm that I extremely enjoyed, although it does bring me to my biggest complaint about this standalone DLC. This does feel like 80% recycled content, and it's hard to ignore that sometimes. Everyone, and I really mean everyone, moves and acts like Nathan Drake, including hopping animations and dramatic punches. I'm not saying it's lazy, it just broke my immersion slightly to see every character in this entire world behaving the same. My other problem is that the audio is mixed really badly. When people talk, it can either be super quiet or crystal clear, and when they're giving verbal hints as to a very important clue, it can suck to miss that. Just as a piece of advice, before you start playing, turn on subtitles because you will definitely miss something. Both of these issues did hurt my experience slightly, but not enough to make me want to stop playing. During my journey, I discovered so much more about these powerful heroes, and yet what's really great about this is now I have so much hope for the future of this series. Whatever ancient treasure we track down next is surely going to be fantastic no matter whose shoes we're filling. Okay, so we've heard some good and some bad, but let's over the ratings board and put a big number on it. I am giving Uncharted The Lost Legacy a 9 out of 10. The studio Naughty Dog has really been experimenting lately with more standalone DLC like this, and I personally love it. It would actually be rather cool in my opinion to see an episodes of Uncharted kind of thing, where we keep getting these stellar little quests once a year. That's just a random idea, but I think I'd be totally down for that. Thanks so much for watching, gamers. This has been DreamcastGuy with another review. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. But do me the biggest favor of all and keep dreaming. I know my video is slightly later than everybody else when they put theirs up, but you know what? Thank you for watching. I know this video is behind schedule, but I was at a convention this weekend, but I just wanted to talk about this game, so it means a lot that you're taking the time to watch this and like this. Seriously, thank you. Oh, hey, I was just playing a little bit of Grand Theft Auto on my Darth Vader PSP. Are you curious what I'm going to come out with next? Well, if you click this button, you'll be subscribed to be the first to know. Also, if you click over here and here, you can see my latest review and my latest top 10. I promise, it was super good. Or it was really bad and I'm sure you can just make fun of me in the comments. Either way, it'll be a lot of fun. Thanks so much for watching.